Okay, so I'm gonna go through my first reaction and evaluation of this buggy unit. He is int, so there's a very good chance that he's gonna be a new entry on the int Rumble team with Oiran Yamato, Roger Eligaban, int Gear 5 Luffy, all these amazing characters, the waifu character 6 plus. This character might replace one of them. I'm very interested because all the other characters that I've evaluated have incredible rumble abilities. Like meta defining Emu is just ridiculous. This is of course the vanilla artwork. This is what Buggy will look like when you pull him. And then if you use 5 alternating ink pens, which are acquired through co-op rewards as well as through Bliss Battle rewards, you can use 5 of those and change his artwork to this. So very, very cool. So Buggy is an in slasher driven character. So I'm assuming he's going to be mono slasher. He's going to focus on slashes mostly. All of the 4 Emperor characters focus on one type or class. For Luffy, it's Dex. For Shanks, it's Cerebral. And for Blackbeard, it is going to be Free Spirit. So very interested here. Just looking straight here at the Rumble stuff. He does have 285 defense, which is ridiculous. So let me actually look here at the English version here. So it's 285 defense, which is way above average. That's like double what defense usually is in Rumbles. So this guy's going to take no damage. And then 130 speed, which is a bit below average. So a bit of a one-trick pony when it comes to the defense, but that's fine. He is a defense style unit. Okay, 28 CT. He is going to not heal. He's only doing normal attacks and then a power attack. He will completely evade special bind, which is awesome. But yeah, that's probably the worst resistance of the 4 legends. I mean 5 legends, of course. Other characters are avoiding action bind as well as forced out, all of these more relevant debuffs like confusion. The other units are resisting that. Buggy, it's only special bind, which is definitely one of the more common debuffs to remove. Now it does look like he's a damage limit break for class as well as a super tandem boost unit with the crit potential ability. Well, we're seeing a lot more characters that work with crit by enhancing the chance of a crit occurring and also increasing the damage of a crit when it lands. So crit rate and crit damage lately have been a lot more focused on. So the fact that he has that is pretty cool. But let's not linger on that for too long. It's not too important. So he is a mono slasher. He gives super class for slasher and driven. So all the recent characters from the 4 Emperor batch are giving super class to both of their classes. And then I think Emo gives everyone super type, right? He has a special where if the field has int territory and a territory for slashes. Now, for most of these characters, they only provide one of these territories by themselves. So I'm assuming the rare recruits from the batch will provide the other territory. I'm not sure if Buggy himself, yes, he does apply a int territory. But as for the slasher one, we don't know. We're probably going to get that from the rare recruits. So it's going to be very important for you to get those characters. So we can already start like seeing which units will synergize with these characters, looking at past legends, which ones provide a slasher territory and can go really well with Buggy. Also territory for the entire crew. This is a universal territory. This is only provided by Emu. So this is very powerful. Of course, if you have the territory for the crew, everyone will match the territory, giving you a 1.5x attack boost and 25% damage reduction. So if you have both of those territories, or if you have the general territory, when you use the special, you get an 8x attack boost for characters that are both int and slasher. If a character is only either int or slasher, they get 6x attack. Either way, the attack boost will be for 3 turns, so multiple stages. So it's very powerful that he's providing an attack boost because there's a lot of characters that allow you to stack attack boosts over each other, which is really good. As for the color affinity that Blackbeard provides, color affinity isn't as important as an attack boost, also because there's not many units in the game that allow you to stack color affinity. So this is very powerful. 6x for 3 turns is already just mind-blowing. If the characters both, they get an 8x attack boost for 3 turns. the absolute raw unadulterated damage that this will provide is just, and you can't understate it, bro. It's just so good. And then 4x and 3x if you don't meet the the territory requirements, right? So if you don't have both of these territories or the general territory, then int slashes will get 4x, and then either int or slashes, you just need to have one, then they get 3x, and this is only for one turn, so no longer multiple stages. So yeah, you really want to be reaching this requirement. Not only are the multipliers just 2 times better straight up, but also being multiple stage 3 turns here is just so important. He also gives set target status. Remember, set target does not get affected by any type of immunity. It goes through all immunities, and it'll allow you to do an extra 3x to when you have an int or slasher character attacking. So very powerful. You apply this to the enemy, they can't ignore it, and you can just get an extra 3x damage. This is easily the strongest target in the entire game. Set target, this is the strongest one for sure. We've had like 2x before. I don't think we've even had 2.5x, but we're just going straight to 3x when you hit excellent with the action special. And also, when you do defeat an enemy with set target status, you get 2 turns of cooldown. So if there's a full like 6 board of enemies, which was very was in the recent Kizuna with Beckman and Yasop, on stage 2 there were 6 enemies, and then the whole idea was that you're supposed to use set target status because it affects all enemies. It happens to all enemies, and if the enemy gives you special rewind, then you can completely negate that by just doing normal attacks and killing these enemies. So set target status is not only good for damage, ignoring immunities, but it also is great for cooldown. So yeah, very powerful effect. I actually didn't check what is Buggy's cooldown. 20 turns. So the exact same as Blackbeard, 21 turns without expansion, right? Okay. Then he's going to provide a territory for int type for 3 turns to the field. Now remember, territory is going to last over multiple stages. You can carry a territory over stage 4 to stage 5, or any stages, of course. So very powerful. You can pop this on stage 4, get a 3-turn territory, a 3-turn attack boost, and then if the enemy gives you special rewind on stage 4, you can use the set target status to give yourself cooldown back. So yeah, very powerful special to proc on stage 4. When a total of 5 or more, that's a very high requirement. Cross guild, 4 emperors and or egghead arc tags on the crew. Gives you 50% increased damage on crit attacks for int and strength characters. Why? It's so random. He's just randomly including strength units. His kit prior is only for int and slashes. His captain only boosts int and slashes, but this is so strange. Like, I mean, I guess you could actually work with. Nah, no one else is slashes, so I don't see what's happening here. Regardless, this is a 50% increase in damage from your crit potential abilities. This is not increasing the rate, so if a character doesn't have a guaranteed crit, it could still definitely fail, and you won't get the massive damage boost. But 50% is really good. Organically, I'm pretty sure crit is like 20% increased damage. Let me just look it up here. We just take the Burgess and Shiryu from the end of month batch for an example. His crit is, if you hit a perfect, there's an 80% chance you'll get an 8% damage buff if this character's for when he attacks. So you need to hit a perfect, and then it's an 80% chance of extra 8% damage, right? So this is now going to be 58% extra damage, which is essentially a 1.58x multiplier for your damage. So yeah, this is very powerful. Going from 8x to 8% to 58 is super powerful. Yeah, so he's providing very like niche but powerful damage boosting effects. Set target, crit damage buff, and we also have territory here. So very powerful. I didn't even see this, but he also reduces despair by 10 turns. Very good utility. But once again, remember, you do need those 5 tags. So besides Buggy, 4 other characters need to have one of these tags. Luckily, Egghead Arc is included, so many characters, amazing characters will fit into this. Cross Guild, we do have a Mr. One Legend, Mihawk, Crocodile. Of course, it can only be Mihawks and Crocodiles as well as Mr. Ones that are from the story after Cross Guild is established. So you can't use Alabaster Crocodiles or Alabaster Mr. Ones. So keep that in mind. 4 Emperors, of course, all the new batch besides Emu fall into the 4 Emperor tag. Also, all Luffy's after Wano. So yeah, it's pretty good. 5 or more, you do have slack for one character to not fit into one of these tags, and it will still give you this effect. And in addition to the crit damage buff, you also get 5 cooldown for your captain. So if Buggy's your captain, this unfortunately will be pretty useless because this will not charge his own cooldown by 5 turns immediately after the special is activated. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. But if you're running Buggy as a sub, your captain will get that massive cooldown. I'm actually not 100% sure if Buggy himself is the captain. I'm pretty sure he can't charge his own special immediately like this. Or maybe you can. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think he probably can. Like, it's gonna give himself 5 turns of cooldown as soon as he uses his special. Yeah, so even if Buggy's the captain, he'll go back down to 15 CD immediately after using the special. So yeah, pretty powerful. We have utility here. We have a territory and set target status as well as a crit damage buff. So a very unique set of damage boosting effects and the massive attack boost that you cannot forget. Yeah, very powerful. Nothing too unique from the other 4 Emperors though. Very similar kits. Now, what about his captain ability? Int type and slasher characters, so they don't have to have both. They get 2 turns of cooldown, 2 charges for your versus effect and switch effect gauges at the start of the quest. Gives a flat 6x and 1.3x HP to this type and class. Gives int and tandem orbs counted matching. Yeah, very similar to all the other Emperors. And then when 4 more slashes on the crew, the damage reduction effect on the enemy, it gets reduced by 100% when the enemy gives themselves a rainbow shield buff. Wow, okay. So yeah, that's very powerful. We know that if you have a sub that works based on the enemy's damage reduction, or you have a damage reduction based attack boost that's based on the enemy's damage reduction, you might still want to have the enemy's damage reduction active. Even if it gets reduced to 0, the damage reduction based attack boost on the enemy, let me just pull up a quick example here. The Carrot and Dogstorm and Cat Viper. This is the first damage reduction based attack boost of the enemy that was released in the game. So even if the enemy has a 0% damage reduction, you'll still get a 1.7x attack boost. So there is a lot of benefits to straight up reducing the enemy's damage reduction to 0% instead of just straight up removing it. The main benefit, of course, is that this works regardless of how many turns the enemy's damage reduction is. They could have 99 turns, and this will be one of the only ways to get around it, besides using characters that allow you to go through enemy defensive effects. So for enemy damage reduction based attack boosts, for a massive amount of turns of damage reduction, this is a really powerful effect. We also have characters like the recent Blackbeard and Kuzan, who you get extra effects from their special if the enemy has a damage reduction active. Well, actually, Blackbeard and Kuzan does provide a damage reduction based attack boost on the enemy's damage reduction as well. So with this, you would still be able to ignore the damage reduction while getting a 1.7x attack boost. I can't think of the top of my head, but I know there's a decent amount of characters that have recently wanted you to have an enemy with damage reduction. It might be Blackbeard and Shiryu. Yeah, it is Burgess and Shiryu. If enemies have % damage reduction when the special is active and an quick character is on the supported unit, gives territory to the field for quick. So you can also get a territory for free spirit. Very, very powerful. Unfortunately, those territories aren't going to help Buggy fulfill his special. But regardless, having this captain ability to reduce enemies' damage reduction to 0 but still have the damage reduction active, will allow you to get access to these abilities. So a lot of uses for that. That is a very powerful utility. Definitely better than the other 4 emperors that have the utility to reduce special limiter. I think this is the best of the 4 emperors in terms of the utility in the captain. Maybe Shanks one is a bit better when the special rewind is reduced. And then if you have a full team of slasher characters, and you have an int territory, which is provided by Buggy Special, and that territory is lasting for 3 turns over multiple stages. So you can pop Buggy on stage 4 and have a 7x attack boost from the captain for 3 turns. Very, very powerful. And then when you use his special as the captain, then he's also giving those tags from that I mentioned earlier, an extra 1.2x damage from the captain effect, going up to 8.4x, because this 1.2x gets multiplied by the 7x. So an 8.4x attack boosting captain for 3 turns. And I mean, mind you, it's not that difficult. Running a full team of slasher characters, yes, you do have to be aware of that when team building, but it's really not too difficult. And he himself is providing the territory. So yeah, 8.4x for 3 turns very easily over multiple stages. And then as a sailor, he's also boosting the damage that your slasher characters are dealing by 1.1x. So I mentioned this in the previous videos because the other emperors have the same sailor ability. But if you're dealing 10 trillion damage, this is giving an extra trillion. Like, this is an extra 10% damage. It's very powerful. And then he is a super tandem boosting character, working with all 4 emperor, Egghead Arc, Roger Pirates, and or cross guild characters. So any character with super tandem that has one of these tags will get the super tandem effect that they have boosted in terms of how much damage it's giving. So it is only starting off at a boost level of 1, of course, but if you get the character maxed, it's a boost level of 7 for Roger Pirates and cross guild tag characters, and then a boost level of 6 for Egghead Arc and 4 emperors. So yeah, pretty powerful, boosting a lot of characters, of course, mainly from the Egghead Arc tag and 4 emperors. His X super, you only need 2 characters besides himself. Double characters count as 1. So you need a Blackbeard, Luffy, Shanks, or one of the 4 emperors, or a cross guild character, or a Roger Pirates character. So yeah, we need more Scalper Gabans, we need more Crocuses, more Rayleighs. Honestly, we need a new Roger. We did get a Roger Rayleigh Gaban, but we definitely could see a better Roger in the future, right? As well as all of the cross guild characters. None of them are really... we don't have many characters besides the 4 emperors here. So yeah, hopefully this roster of characters gets heavily supported in the future. But it will give the super class for both classes. So if a character is slasher and driven and gets both of these super class effects, it's an extra 1.44x attack and 1.44x HP. Very, very powerful. 80% damage reduction. So if you have a damage reduction based on ally attack boost, this would be amazing. Also to survive death hits. So this is quite versatile. And it changes slasher class characters block int tandem slots to super int, which is the new orb in the game. So super orbs, we still don't know the exact multipliers they provide. All we know is it's going to be a massive increase in damage. But I will discuss the details once these do arrive in game. Allows slasher class characters to perform super tandem within slots for 3 turns. So yeah, this is quite powerful. We don't have any character in the game to allow you to perform super tandem with int orbs. We have characters that allow you to do it with recover orbs, with rainbow orbs, but not even one orbs, but not int orbs. So very powerful, one of a kind ability. And if you are using the Shanks along with this guy, which I don't know why he'd be doing that, they don't synergize, then he could extend this by 2 turns, making it 5 turns, which is really powerful. This is not the most important buff, but in situations like Super Boss, this would be incredibly important. Once again, a base stat boosting support. Now let's talk about his Rumble stuff. But before that, these are the characters in the game that provide a slasher territory from their special. And remember, you do need to have a slasher territory as well as an int territory to get the massive damage from this character special that will last over multiple stages. So Buggy, as I said before, provides his own territory for the int, but you still need a slasher territory from someone. So Legend Anniversary Kizaru from the 11th anniversary, the Yamato and Momo, as well as the Shanks versus Kid Legend. I think the versus Shanks version provides the slasher territory. So yeah, versus Shanks might be one of the best hybrid options when it comes to what's his face, when it comes to Buggy, because they're both in slashes, right? So yeah, I mean, I need to look into this hybrid a bit more, but yeah, maybe not actually, because versus Shanks, he reduces despair in his captain ability. Buggy reduces it in his special. There's a bit of a clash there, but regardless, keep a look at on these characters. They might synergize really well with Buggy. Now, what about these Rumble stuff? This is what we came here for. OPTC 2.0 Pirate Rumble. So 28 CT, quite low. Target self for defense up of level 5 and guard percent up of level 5 for 50 seconds. So half of the round, you have defense up and guard. Guard, if you don't know, is a 5% chance that you will take half damage from the enemy's normal attacks. So it starts off at 5%, and then every level increases that by another 5%. So with level 5 guard, Buggy himself is going to have a 30% chance to reduce normal attack damage by 50%, yeah. And this is for 50 seconds. So yeah, very powerful defensive effects for himself. When character has provoke status, so essentially target lock in regular OPTC, basically it's the buff where he targets himself. He forces all the enemy's normal attacks to hit himself, which, remember, he is very tanky thanks to this. So when he has provoke, we'll see how he will get that. Maybe he'll provide it to himself, or maybe the cross skilled unit that we just got from the end of month batch, the Crocodile and Miork, they'll provide the provoke status. I need to just check that real quick. That is probably going to be the best character to run with this unit, but I will check that out in a moment. So if he has provoke, everyone in a large range gets 4 times his attack as damage. Now, this is not that good because it's not spread damage. 4x isn't that crazy because he's not going through enemy defense. Yeah, it's just very regular damage that's not going to do much, right? And he's not reducing enemy defense before he does the damage either. So yeah, this is pretty terrible. When remaining time is more than 30 seconds, and yeah, you also need to be provoked to get that damage. So like, when remaining time is more than 30 seconds, so in the first like 70% of the battle, you will get this effect. Targets int type, slasher, or cerebral class, or cross guild, or 7 warlords of the sea, or 4 emperors. They can be either one. They don't need to be all of this. They just need to be one of these. Either an int, slasher, cerebral, cross guild, 7 warlords of the sea, or 4 emperors. They get attack up of level 5 for 100 seconds, speed up of level 5 for 100 seconds, and special CT speed up of level 3 for 100 seconds. So attack up of level 5, that is roughly I think that's 375 attack increase to your attack stat, because I'm pretty sure it's a 75 attack increase per level. Now remember, this will improve both your special damage and also your regular attack damage. Buggy is increasing speed by level 5 as well, which is I think 5 per level, so only 5 per level, but it will increase his speed up to 155, which is quite powerful. That will definitely make a difference. Now, what about the cooldown reduction? It's only level 3. It's only about 2% per level, so 6% in total. Where am I even looking, bro? But remember, this is lasting for 100 seconds, and I'm assuming Buggy will activate at the start of the quest with his sailor ability. I mean, he's passive, but we'll see in a moment. But if he's providing this right at the start, this is really good, giving increased speed and increased charge time. The CT speed up buff, it essentially just reduces the base time it will take for a character special to launch. So if a character is like 40 CT, the 6% from this will essentially reduce the initial charge time down to like 36 seconds or 35 seconds. So it is quite impactful. That definitely can make a massive difference. But it is only level 3. But remember, this will stack because Buggy will activate this at the start of the quest. Pretty sure, yep. He doesn't give himself 100% at the start, but he is reducing everyone's cooldown quite a bit. But we'll get into that in a moment. Regardless, you will probably activate this at least twice in the quest. So that is very good buffs. Very good support, actually. When remaining time is 50 seconds or less, so in the latter half of the match, gives everyone in a large range 1.5 times his attack as damage, ignoring defense. So we always love to see this. It is only 1.5x, which is weaker than every other 4 Emperor. I'm pretty sure Shanks does 2.2x. Luffy does 2.5x. This is, of course, also going through enemies' defense. For Buggy, it's only 1.5x. So it's going to be a lot weaker. Definitely, he's the weakest on the 5 Emperor, of the 4 Emperors and Emu when it comes to just straight up damage. Definitely. This is pretty weak. And the spread, the ignoring defense damage is very weak compared to the others. Regardless, it is going to do some decent damage. In the final 30 seconds of the battle, large range 1.5 15x spread damage. So if an enemy is forced out, or there's only like 3 enemies remaining, each enemy will take 5x. It scales based on how many enemies are remaining on the field. So if a character is forced out, they are counted as being off the field, meaning they won't take this damage. But yeah, if there's only like 1 or 2 enemies remaining, this is going to do a lot of damage. Once again, this is a lot weaker than the other 4 Emperors. All of them are doing 20x spread damage. So a lot weaker, but it's still very powerful. Considering the fact that he's doing the regular damage, the ignoring defense damage, and the spread damage, it all stacks up, doing a lot of damage overall. When 2 or more Warlords of the Sea or Cross Guild on the team, gives attack style teammates 20% healing. Okay, yeah, that is very good. So this is a good moment to look at Crocodile and Mihawk. What are they doing? So this unit is... Surely this unit's an attack style. Yeah, he is an attack style. Okay, so this guy is getting 20% healing. This unit has pretty good stats overall. Doing power attacks, full attacks. So these are massive damage multipliers. A full attack is 100% of his attack. So a normal attack, I think, is only like 0.3x his attack as damage. A power attack, I think, is 0.6x. And then a full attack is 100%. But I'm not 100% sure of if that is the case. But roughly, that should be the multipliers. But this character, what is he doing? So this guy's also doing a lot of damage, ignoring defense, spread damage, regular damage. Essentially the same thing that Buggy's doing with lower multipliers, of course. This damage ignoring defense is better than Buggy's, but it's only to 1 enemy. So it's basically not better because you also need to be above 90% HP. So yeah, a lot more strings attached than Buggy's one. So I would say Buggy's is better even with a lower multiplier. Regardless, he's also giving attack down to 3 enemies, but it's only in Assault Rumble. Same for the regular damage. So yeah, Buggy's providing much more damage, surprisingly. Even though he's a defense style character and this guy's an attack style, Buggy's doing more damage. But he's providing defensive effects as well. Defense up, guard. Very similar to what Buggy's doing, actually. He's also providing the ability to ignore enemy incoming damage. That is ignoring defense. So this is really important for tankiness, right? So yeah, this unit's doing a lot, providing debuffs, buffs, providing damage as well. But he will get that healing from Buggy. So this Buggy is going to be strengthening not just the Int team, but also Slasher and Cerebral teams. So keep that in mind. 3 teams are going to be much better with this Buggy. Now, what else is he doing? So that's about it for his special, right? When remaining HP is 20% or below, targets team, so the entire team, for 30% HP healing, and switches himself with the first sub character. So I've explained this in the previous video, but if a character has the effect to activate a buff or do damage or delay the enemy when they appear on the field, you can put them on the main lineup at the start of the quest. They will proc that effect. Then if they get swapped to the sub position using this effect, and then someone on the main lineup dies and they come into the main lineup again, that effect will activate for a second time. So this is incredibly powerful. Sub swap is the new meta, right? And I mean, in total, 50% healing. Everyone gets 30%. He has to be low HP though, so you want him to take a lot of damage. So put him in the front row position, in the middle of the main lineup. He will be in the frontmost position, taking the most damage. And then his ability, he'll give in slash cerebral across guild 7 warlords and 4 emperors, defense up, HP up of level 7. So that's going to be about how much HP is that? That's 250 HP per level. So overall, it's going to be 1750 HP, which is quite substantial. I've explained guard about the damage reduction it provides, and defense up is easily the most important tanking effect in Pyro Rumble, since it does reduce damage significantly. When guarding, so when this procs, with the guard from the passive and the guard from the special, Buggy's chance of guarding is going to be up to about a 55%, which is really good. So every time he takes a normal attack, there's a 55% chance that he'll give these tags all of these buffs. It can only activate 3 times though, so keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, it's going to be quite easy to activate this because of how high a Buggy's chance of guarding is. And that'll give a total of level 6 defense, level 9 speed, and level 9 attack up. So very, very good buffs here. And also revives himself with 20% HP. So yeah, this is really good. It's actually really nice that he doesn't heal, nor does the Crocodile and Mihawk, because he's going to revive with 20% HP. If anyone heals him, he's going to be very slightly above 20% and he won't get this effect. So yeah, it's very good that they don't heal with their behavior. Yeah, this is very powerful. So you want Buggy to stay at a low HP so that he can heal everyone else. So when he appears on the field, so right at the start of the battle, if he's on the main lineup, everyone gets 10% CT. And remember, he's already giving the CT up buff from his special as well. So he's going to give everyone 10% CT. And Cross Guild and 7 Warlords get another 30%. What in the world? Now, remember, Kuma is still a warlord. Kuma is still a warlord. So now Kuma is going to be ready at the start of the quest, guaranteed, right? Because look at his passive. We already know Kuma gives himself 50% CT upon appearance if you're running him with a Bonnie character. Then Buggy is giving him another 40% in total. And then just run any other character that gives special CT speed up to cover that final 10%. Kuma is going to be ready as soon as the battle begins. Buggy will also give NIKA Bonnie 40%. No. NIKA Bonnie won't get that extra 30%, only the 10%. But remember, Kuma will activate almost instantly now and give 30% CT to NIKA Bonnie. Now, yes, it seems broken now because NIKA Bonnie team is now also going massive buffs with the new 4 Emperors. The issue is that, yes, Kuma is going to be ready right at the start. He'll very likely activate ASAP. But he's not giving enough CT to NIKA Bonnie where they can activate so early. So yes, it will haste NIKA BONNEY and give them so much cooldown, but it'll just be a normal attack from Bonnie Luffy, right? Because their cooldown won't be ready. So yeah, that's very good. I don't think it's going to be anything too game breaking though. But either way, keep this in mind. Kuma is getting massively buffed. I'm going to have to make a whole dedicated video talking about the Int team now. But also the Hancock and Sandersonia and Marigold also getting these buffs. They work on cerebral teams. So yeah, this can work with Buggy. Of course, the new Crocodile and Mihawk. The Don Quixote Pirates. This one is quite a big one. Besides that, Mr. Zero Muscle Sunday. Of course, on the 7 Warlords team. I think that's about it. We also have this Doflamingo, but he's only really like good on strength teams, which Buggy isn't going to be necessarily used on. What else? There's also 6+ Kuma. He's also getting all this cooldown. So even though Buggy doesn't directly buff strength characters, he might be used on strength teams just because he's buffing Doflamingo 6+ and Kuma 6+, giving them so much CT. So Buggy might not only dominate Slasher, Cerebral, and Int teams, but also find a way onto a strength team. And then when remaining time is 90 seconds or more, when you're praying on the field, gives himself 50% CT reduction. So that's going to go down to 14 seconds. He's also giving himself 40%. This is also applying to himself, right? So 40%, 90%. Yeah, this guy's going to be ready when he appears. So there's only like 3 seconds that Buggy won't have. He'll need 3 seconds to charge his special at the start of the battle. So there is the chance that he jumps straight to the top of the queue. But it's highly unlikely because his speed is only 130. So I really like that they designed his stats in this way. His speed I thought was very low, which is a bit annoying usually. But you don't want Buggy to be at the top of the queue at the start of the battle, because he needs 3 seconds before he's ready, because he gives himself 50% here and then another 40% here. So there's still 10%, which is like 10% of this is 3%. I mean 3 seconds, right? He's tanking, he's doing damage, he's providing massive support to 6+ Dofi, 6+ Strength Kuma, the new Cross Guild End of Month Legend, and also the New Year's Kuma, which is probably the biggest one, and also Doflamingo Legend. Wow, he oh my days, this character's broken. I was about to say, okay, this character's not looking the craziest, but as we continued reading, and like the passives these days are so broken. He's reviving, he's giving himself max special at the start of the quest, he's giving everyone 10%, he's giving very strong units 40% total. He's giving everyone support so easily because he's guarding at a 50% chance. And even more base support. How is he getting the provoke though? That's what I want to know. Does Cross Guild Mihawk and Crocodile provide it? Surely he does. Healing. I know I saw provoke somewhere here, but this is his super special. Also, I didn't see this, but this Crocodile and Mihawk also gives another level 5 guard up buff to the Buggy. So Buggy has a 75% chance of guarding, right? So yeah, you're getting this support very quickly, which will allow you to activate your units much more than the enemy can. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Power Rumble now is just a rush to see who can activate their special in the first 15 seconds and completely control the match. Very interesting. Yeah, but I don't see any provoke here. Oh, and I didn't see this, but yeah, Buggy definitely will have the highest defense because of all the buffs he's providing himself. So he's getting a level 5 guard from the special as well. So yeah, 100% guard. 100% chance, 50% damage reduced. This is 100% to activate every time Buggy does a normal attack. So I mean, the only way to counter the support would be to give Buggy the miss percent up debuff, which is a chance of the normal attack failing. Bro, it's so powerful. Oh yeah, and he's provoking Buggy, so Buggy is very easily gonna meet this condition for provoke. But if you don't have this crocodile and milk, it might be hard to get that. But at the end of the day, this is the most weak damage from his special, so it's not the end of the world if you don't have this, right? But yeah, this Buggy is looking insane. He's gonna buff the NIKA BONNEY team with Kuma, giving Kuma 40% CT at the start of the quest. And Kuma's giving himself 50% at the start as well, so he's gonna be ready ASAP. He's buffing the int team, the slasher team, the cerebral team, the int team, the strength team as well, because 6 plus Kuma, 6 plus Dofi is getting the 40% CT at the start of the quest. It's just broken, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This new Buggy, I don't know, man. I was assuming he was gonna be the worst one, but he's really, really good. I think he might be the most accessible to have because he's supporting so many teams, and you don't need a lot of characters for this guy to work well. This is a regular legend, so it's going to be very easy to get this guy in a few months, within the next few months. He works on strength teams, he works on int teams, cerebrals, and slashes. When it comes to the Gear 5 Luffy, you want to have versus Zoro from Zoro vs. Nustro. You want to have the Pirate Rumble exclusive Ace. When it comes to Shanks, you want Kizune exclusive Beckman and Yasop, which is of course quite hard to get. For the Blackbeard Legend, you want to have all of the recent Blackbeard Legends, which are incredibly difficult to get. For Emu, you want the 5 Elders. So between Emu and Buggy, these are probably the best characters for new players to get. Yeah, he's really good. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you want to see more in-depth breakdowns. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And I'm out.